to the Stardom Fantasy Football Podcast. I'm your host, Stefen McKinney. We got a good, fun show today. We're going to talk sleepers, studs, and duds with my two good buds, Ashton Mitchell, Jacob Stevens.
That's a nice rhyme.
I like that.
He went there with it.
How you guys doing? You guys do anything exciting for the 4th?
Hung out with the family. Did some swimming. Did paddleboarding for the first time.
Ooh,
got
very fancy.
real dangerous out on the waters.
I like that.
It was fun, relaxing. Grilled out, had some awesome steak. I missed the fireworks though. It's a shame.
I'll give you a little preview of what mine was like.
Bag up, Terry. Put it in reverse, Terry. Put it in reverse. Oh, Lord, Jesus. Oh, Lord. Oh, Jesus.
Just kidding. Mine was nothing like that. I actually, I was at the pool for a few hours at my mom's house. Chasing my daughter around the pool. It was pretty fun. And then we came on home and we listened to fireworks around our house and didn't go watch them anywhere. How about you, Stefen?
Nice. Yeah, I was at the beach this year. Wasn't sure where the fireworks were going to be, so we started hearing them go off around 8:30 or so. Went out to the porch, and they're kind of going all around us. I don't think there was one like actual big show, but people are lighting them off from the beach in different areas, so it was nice. Then we went inside and watched them on TV, so it wasn't quite as exciting and in your face, but
of course,
it was a good time. So before we get started, you guys want to talk a little news here?
Let's dive into it.
Let's do it.
Cool. So first things first, the whole New England Patriots quarterback situation is changing. No more Jarrett Stidham. Instead, we got Cam Newton signing a 1-year deal to approve a deal.
Why is Stidham out already? Why do you say that?
People were excited to see Stidham. He sat behind Brady for long enough. They thought, maybe this would be like the next kind of revolution in New England, but looks like we're going to have to wait at least for another year for that.
Stidham, more like Sidham.
Hey-o.
Hey-o.
I'd definitely be sitting behind Cam, that's for sure. What do you guys think about Cam, though? Do you guys think that changes the situation in New England? Are you more optimistic about it now? Or
Absolutely. Jarrett Stidham, man. I know they like him there, but if you can get Cam Newton on a league minimum deal, $550K for a cap-strapped team like the Patriots, the sky's the limit for the guy if he can stay on the field, honestly. I've got him ranked currently around 18, and as the season gets closer and the preseason, if it happens, that'll kind of change if he moves up the board. But, yeah, I believe Stidham is. See us.
Yeah, I was excited about Stidham coming in and taking over Brady's spot there, seeing what kind of potential he really had. But now that Cam's in the picture, it's hard to turn away from the excitement of Cam Newton. Even with some injury history there with him, he's just undeniably the better option there. And behind Bill Belichick, it's going to be an exciting show.
He's Superman. So take that.
I was really excited to see the Patriots finally be bad for a year. I thought for sure this was the year. And I was like, they've been good enough for so long that they lost Brady. This is it. This is a losing season Patriots team. And then they go out and get Cam on like $500,000. Very disappointing for me as a Patriots hater, but I definitely think it's an improvement for all of your Patriots fantasy options for sure.
Agreed, for sure.
They had a plan the whole time.
Yeah, they knew it was coming.
They came at you with that left hook, man. You weren't ready.
I think the biggest news, I think everybody's kind of heard about it, even if you don't.
Definitely the biggest.
If you don't watch football, you probably know that this happened. But Patrick Mahomes go ahead and signs a unworldly contract, 10 years, $503 million. And we don't even know all the details of it, but that's what we've got so far. Some people are saying that it's, tied to the salary cap, and we'll see if he gets a percentage of the salary cap.
Yeah, it'll get higher.
Yeah, this thing is astronomical. It's something we've never seen in NFL history. Makes him the highest
sports
paid
history
ever contract for any athlete. So, this is – nobody can say he doesn't deserve it. He is the best quarterback.
Decent amount of money. That's all right.
Well, we'll see what this does, in the future for the Chiefs in terms of cap space. I mean, they're going to have problems keeping on talent to surround Mahomes with, I think. So we'll have to see how it goes. But, I mean, it's definitely – it shocked the sports world. And I think to go along with it, this kind of goes back into the question marks with Dak as well. I mean, Dak Prescott's been trying to sign that long-term deal with the Cowboys for the whole offseason. They went ahead and signed into the franchise tag. But in terms of, getting that long-term deal in place, do you guys think this has any effect on what that negotiation looks like? Did the contract for Dak, does he get more money because of this? What do you guys think there?
Yeah, I think it's going to play a role. I don't think Dak's going to come close to Mahomes' money.
What?
That's a thing now. It's called
Stefen,
Mahomes
back up.
money.
Let me see your shirt. Let me see that. Yeah. That's a nice shirt.
This shirt? Get that star out of here, man. Yeah, I mean, I think Dak's going to get a good contract, but I mean, I don't think it's going to change anything else with that. I think he's signed in for the franchise tag, right? So they can't retract that, right?
They can't retract that. He's signed on, so he's guaranteed playing with the Cowboys this year.
Yep.
Which
we weren't doubting anyways, but
right, and he's got 5 days before them before they can before it's too late to sign
by the 15th,
long-term extension.
Yeah.
Honestly, them waiting. I think the number is gonna bounce up just a little bit, not like anything crazy, but I mean Dak has shown that he can be, a top 5 quarterback in the league, so he's gonna get paid that way.
And I think it really comes down to just Jerry Jones just trying to beat Jerry Jones too,
Jerry.
It's got to have the bigger show, you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
He's not going to pay out Mahomes' money, that's for sure.
Yeah, I don't think we're getting anywhere near Mahomes' money for Dak. I think we're going to see a lot more of a standard NFL quarterback contract for Dak, something more in line with the Russell Wilson contract compared to the Pat Mahomes deal. So I don't think there should be any getting too excited for Dak. But yeah, I mean, it definitely plays in his favor. So we'll see how the negotiation goes. But for now, franchise tag it is. We'll see if he can do a long-term deal in the future.
Which is still $34.1 million.
Yeah, nothing to bat eye at for sure.
For sure.
Next up was the NFL Players Association is trying to cancel the entirety of the preseason. We've already cut it down to 2 games. Now we're talking canceling it all together and just going straight into the regular season. I mean, obviously this has implications for not only just, NFL rosters, like people actually making the roster, but also fantasy implications. I mean, you're not going to see the random 1 or 2 injuries that we see in the preseason that kicks one of these players out for the entirety of the season. But we're also going to see, kind of people taking a little bit longer to get going during the season, especially some of these older guys. So, I mean, this could be it's still, yet to be seen what actually happens with the preseason. There's no set in stone canceling of the preseason yet. But do you guys see any implications other than that kind of take a toll if we see the actual canceling of the entirety of the preseason?
Yeah, I think, riding off of what you were saying, it makes me a little nervous, but this is the world that we're living in these days. I think we're going to all have to make our own adjustments. And, just like we've had to do in our jobs, NFL players are going to start to have to do the same. They're going to have to figure out other ways to stay season ready and get through their version of preseason. And we're going to see what kind of routes they're going to take to get that. And I think it's going to show the first few weeks of the season. Injuries is definitely going to be a concern, which is going to affect your team depending on who you pick up. I mean, you don't want to find your first or second round draft picks all of a sudden pulling hammies because they weren't seasoned
because he didn't stretch enough. Yeah, for sure.
Got to get the stretching in.
Well, I think what's really important is that they're not going to be exchanging jerseys after the games anymore.
So stupid.
Yeah, in a contact sport, you're going to hit every single play.
For 60 minutes. No
might
big
as well
deal.
not trade jerseys at the end of the game. Yep.
But seriously, I would say it's really about bubble players. Like a lot of it's about bubble players making the roster and a little bit of, those guys aren't going to be as warm and ready to go. I mean, we've had holdouts. We saw Zeke do it last year, and he still came in when he was productive, but it did take a little bit longer to get going. So I think that's the main implication from it being shortened or just gone altogether. But I think players are going to want to have it just to kind of get out there and get ready for the season.
Right. Yeah, you lose that potential opportunity for, on the fence sleepers that could come in and be sneaky during the preseason, earn their spot on the team, and rightfully so, be respected on the regular season. But they don't have a preseason; it's going to be hard to do. So
yeah. And then finally, kind of a word of news as well is that Raheem Mostert, starting running back for the San Francisco 49ers, at least for the games that Kyle Shanahan chooses to make him the starter, has requested a trade. We don't have any more, real solid, concrete, idea of where he might want to go or if that's actually going to happen. At this point, it's just, he's requesting the trade. There's no sort of background to it. We don't know if there's any NFL teams even in the market to pick up Raheem Mostert. So at this point, there's not a lot of backing to it. I wouldn't really adjust your rankings based on it too much at this point. We'll obviously monitor it more as we go along. And, if there is any more updates as we go, we'll definitely make sure to let you guys know in other episodes. We'll make sure we post that on our socials. So make sure to check in there to keep up to date with all the news that we do post. But at this point, I'm not moving anybody around. Are you guys kind of moving anybody, or are you guys just kind of waiting to see what happens?
I'm riding the wave right now. Just waiting to see.
Yeah, I think Tevin Coleman might get a couple bumps up the old board, mainly because, you already know Mostert's somewhat unhappy and he literally publicly requested a trade, which I don't think that ever does any good for team morale.
Yep.
But he wants to get paid like Tevin Coleman, who didn't play the same way that he did last year. So I totally understand it, and as long as they get it taken care of, I think he'll be just fine, and nothing really needs to be changed.
Yep. If something does happen, keep an eye on Jerick McKinnon, because I don't even know where he's going in drafts.
Who?
But
he's still playing?
But if he's still sitting really, really low in drafts, take a late round flyer on him, because Kyle Shanahan's going to get his running backs involved. So that kind of wraps up for news. I do want to kind of address some questions that we got from some of our listeners who sent us in, whether it be through our DMs on our socials or reached out to us directly. I do want to hit their questions, make sure that we get our listeners involved. As always, make sure if you do have any questions you want them to be addressed on our next episode, send them in. Always feel free to send in any questions you have. We'll try to get to them all. But this week's we got, first off, do you think Gronk is going to be a top 5 tight end coming out of retirement?
Oh, boy, here we go.
Oh, can I have this one?
Take this one, Ashton.
Thanks. What's his name? Rob Gronkowski?
I forgot.
Gronkowski, actually.
Whatever. Yeah, dude. Gronk. Yeah, I think he has the potential of being a top 5 tight end. Did you doubt me saying anything different?
No.
I have him as tight end 6. So can he go up one notch? Yeah.
Doubtful.
Right now, you don't think he's a top 5 tight end?
That's all I needed to know. That's all I needed to know.
Top 6.
Yeah, you got to be true to your stats. So you say no here.
What if I said he was on the fence?
Okay,
and it
works.
It just depends on how many deep passes we're going to get from Tom this year. But no, I definitely think he has the potential of being a top 5 tight end.
I'm just going to read right off my notes here. My answer was no, old, and broken.
That works,
but I also have him at tight end 8. So.
Yeah, I have him a little bit lower than both you guys. I have him at tight end 10, but I'm definitely not as high as you guys. I think there's too many question marks. There's too much talent in Tampa Bay. I don't see this as tight end 1 or 2 Gronk that we're used to. I think this is completely different Gronk, completely different system. I don't think he's a top 5 tight end now.
Well, let me say this. It's not that hard to be a tight end 1, but the only ones that matter are really the top 5, and that's I think he's out of that. So I agree with what you're saying for sure.
I meant tight end 1 overall, like we're used to seeing from Gronk.
Oh, you mean okay. I thought you meant top 12,
like the number 1 tight end.
Yeah, I think you'll see him at the back end of a tight end 1.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. Me and you agree. Ashton's wrong. Let's move on to the next question.
We'll make it all the sweeter at the end of the season.
Second question. Which team has the best chance to remain a top 5 defense between the Bears and the Patriots? I'll go ahead and I'll take this one first. I think it's tough because I think I'm going to say the Patriots with the addition of Cam Newton, because before I was worried about that offense and just the defense constantly being out there. But I think the Patriots defense is probably a notch better than the Bears, and I think their offense is a couple notch better than the Bears now. So I'm going to take the Pats defense to maintain a top 5 defense.
I got to go Pats just because the Pats offense is going to be a better offense. Pats defense is going to be a stronger defense. Their opportunities to level out the playing field are going to be stronger. With the Bears offense, I'm worried about the Bears defense getting burned out earlier in the season. I can't put my trust in the Bears offense and supporting the Bears defense. I gotta go Pats.
Keeping them off the field. I totally agree. Yeah. Mainly because it's going to be it might be back and forth between Trubisky and Foles, and that's really not somewhere you want to be. And I totally agree with Stefen on the fact that Cam kind of changed all of that. I think obviously they both have really good defenses, but the factors of the offense playing into it and keeping them off the field is going to be a big thing. And you got Bill Belichick coaching that team versus Matt Nagy, and we know how that goes. So, yeah.
Next up, I think I want to make sure that we address this too. I'll read the question first, but who do we think are the top scoring rookies for each position? Quarterback, running back, and wide receiver. I do think we're going to go into more detail on a future episode about the rookies that we are really, really excited about. We'll talk about a couple of them. But yeah, I mean, just off the top of your head, who do you guys have as your QB1, RB1, and wide receiver 1 for the rookie class this year?
Joe Burrow, #Avi.
I think we're all probably QB. Across the board Joe Burrow.
Running backs, I've got 4, but I'm going to give you 2. I'm going to give you 2. I'd say Clyde Edwards-Helaire and Jonathan Taylor. But the main factors in those guys is if they take over from the respected running backs in their position that are still there. And then for wide receiver, I just put good old Jerry Jeudy.
I'm going to be kind of boring on this. I'm riding with Joe Burrow as well. We all have Joe Burrow, I think, on that.
Yeah, I think so.
Running back, I'm piggybacking on that. Picking up Clyde Edwards-Helaire on that.
You better have a different wide receiver.
What if I went super? No, I can't. God, man, you're gonna be mad, but I do have Jerry Jeudy.
No, you don't. Okay.
Do you want me to get back to me? I'll pick up another one.
You can say CeeDee Lamb. I know you're a big Cowboys fan, so
I'm not doing that. Jerry Jeudy could have one arm tied behind his back.
Whoa!
All right, I'm gonna go Joe Burrow again. I think he's the only quarterback that we can kind of consider as the top possible option.
It's going to play the whole year.
I'm going to go Jonathan Taylor, running back. I really like Jonathan Taylor. I loved him in college. I think he's going to go to a great system for a running back with the Colts. I think he's a better all-around running back compared to Clyde Edwards-Helaire. And then wide receiver, I'm going Justin Jefferson for the Vikings.
I like him too, man. He was one of my 4.
I'm really excited for him. I think he has a great chance to step right in and be a weapon there. So those are my 3. Do you want to change up your wide receiver? Last chance, Ashton?
No, I pass.
Okay.
I'm sticking with it.
I like Michael Pittman.
I don't care what y'all say. Stop bullying me.
Too.
Henry Ruggs could be good in Las Vegas. We'll see.
He's very, very fast. Did you see his Madden rating?
I haven't.
98 on his speed. Only last year, the only higher one was Tyreek Hill at 99. So he's pretty upset about that.
Yeah, I think more than ever we have a great wide receiver class this year. So you could see, 5 or 6 100%. Rookie wide receivers be really, really valuable this year. And last question, between Le'Veon Bell and Todd Gurley, who has a better chance to eclipse 1,000+ rushing yards this year?
I worry about this one because of Gurley's health. I think they both have potential. I'm not a fan of the Jets.
What?
But I don't know if Le'Veon Bell could have a solid year this year. Yeah, easily he could get 1,000 yards. Todd Gurley, I'm wondering if they're going to use him a little bit more towards the goal line. But, with him in Atlanta now, it could be a different show. So,
Who else is behind him? You know what I mean?
yeah.
Ito Frito still hanging.
Nito.
Yes, sir. So
Yeah, I think they both have potential, though.
Yeah, I'll jump in here. I think Lev Bell is going to be a workhorse. He's really never had injury issues. TG3 broken knee, Todd Gurley, you know how that rolls out. Last year was a little scary, but he still hit 1,000 yards. If he stays on the field, I would say if he stays on the field 14, 15 games, Todd Gurley will definitely get there. Lev Bell, yes, the Jets suck. I don't really like Adam Gase as their coach that much, but their first-round pick was Mekhi Becton, offensive tackle.
Yep.
Or was it an O-line person? I can't remember. But, I got faith in Lev Bell. I think the second year there with the Jets, he's going to definitely hit his stride, get his 1,000.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think any of us would be surprised if both of them got over 1,000 rushing yards. I mean, they're both obviously very capable, elite running backs when they can be healthy and in the right situation. So I wouldn't be surprised if either one of them get it. I think who's more likely, probably Todd Gurley, just because he's in a better offense. But obviously, Le'Veon Bell is going to get the ball. Todd Gurley is going to get the ball. I don't have any doubts on either one of them. So I'll say Todd Gurley just for the sake of the question. But yeah, I mean, that kind of wraps it up for our listener questions. As I said, feel free to send out any questions you have to our socials. If we don't address them straight to you via DM, we'll address them in the show. But yeah, let's jump into our studs first.
Yeah, thanks for sending those in. Just want to say thank you.
For sure. So we'll jump into studs. I'll start with mine first. I had a couple different options, but my first option I went with is Juju Smith-Schuster. For me, obviously, I think Juju hurt a lot of people last year. I don't know if it was all on the fault of Juju, but he played injured a few games, missed 4 games, and then played with Devlin Hodges and Mason Rudolph as his quarterback. So there's a lot of excuses that he
excuses. Excuses exactly. That's what.
But he did finish as the wide receiver 66, which is not good.
Not bad.
Not where you drafted him to finish. But last time we did see a full season of him and Big Ben together, Juju had 111 receptions, 1,426 yards, and 7 touchdowns.
And Antonio Brown. Let me go ahead and add Antonio Brown.
Antonio Brown there. So, I mean, obviously, if we can get Juju and Big Ben for a full season with Juju as the number one option, I mean, the sky's the limit. I mean, it wouldn't be surprising if he finishes top 5 overall.
Woo!
But he's going as wide receiver 18 right now, according to his ADP. So I think that value at that point, I mean, he's too good to pass up at wide receiver 18. I mean, I think even last year when Big Ben was healthy for the first 2 games and coming into the preseason, when people were drafting him, we were drafting him in round 2 or the end of round 1. So to get him as wide receiver 18 and get him in the end of the 3rd round, start of the 4th round, like it's too good to pass up. So that's my first stud.
What would stop you from taking Deontay Johnson, who had a better season with the same awful quarterbacks?
Yeah, I mean,
what's that? What's the excuse there, sir? Please.
Deontay Johnson hasn't had any playing time with Big Ben other than the 2 games that he played the start of the year last year. So, I mean, Juju and Big Ben already have that connection.
So you're saying the connection could definitely benefit Juju?
Yeah.
I think just overall talent of playing.
I don't think either one of you guys can argue that Deontay Johnson or James Washington is as talented of a wide receiver as Juju Smith-Schuster.
That is to be seen, my friend.
Okay. Sure. So, yeah. So, I think for me, it's Juju. I don't know if you guys agree or disagree with that, if you guys think that's a good value of wide receiver 18. But if he stays there going up to your drafts, I'm definitely taking Juju if he falls to wide receiver 18 for me.
Well, since I've already interrupted you, I'm going to go ahead and finish my piece on him. Like I said, Deontay Johnson, I think he is a good option as well, and I think Big Ben can support them both. And I think having Deontay Johnson will I think it'll help Juju out for sure. I just hope they can have that connection, like you said. Which they've got big upside with him back, but I believe this is going to be it's kind of make it or break it for Juju. He's an unrestricted free agent after this season. He hasn't been extended, and I think they're waiting for this year to see what he does, because last year, I mean, obviously, wide receiver 66, that's not that good. So we're going to see this year the real Juju without Antonio Brown on the other side.
Yeah,
Thank you.
I don't agree that all that falls on Juju though. Last year was, I mean, a messed up season for the Steelers. I mean, I don't know. I can see them holding on to him, making a decent offer, but
What are they waiting for, man?
he's absolutely talented, and I don't think there's any denying that. It's just
He's got a cool name too. So
yeah, and he rides his bicycle to the games. What are you gonna do? Big Ben's a huge factor coming back. Without Big Ben, Juju's numbers are completely diminished.
Yeah. I mean, I think the whole Steelers offense in terms of like the fantasy value of Juju, Deontay Thompson. I mean, Deontay Johnson, James Conner, like all their value is going to ride on if Big Ben is the starting quarterback, because the value obviously is greatly diminished when you have Devlin Hodges or
Mason Rudolph. Yeah.
Mason Rudolph. Yeah. I mean, it clearly rides on Big Ben. So as long as Big Ben's healthy, I'm expecting big things from Juju this year.
Yeah.
All right, with that lame stud out of the way, I'm going to bring my stud in. I got David Johnson. A lot of people are sleeping on him, okay? Everybody's sleeping on him. I think he's got too much opportunity, too much money. The trade that was made for the Texans, I think it's a prove-it year for David Johnson. It's a prove-it year for Bill O'Brien. He knows. I think he knows that he done messed up that trade. DeAndre Hopkins out of town. You're paying crazy money to David Johnson, who hasn't really had a great season since 2017,
2016,
even longer. Yeah, he missed totally 2017. So I think he's gonna have so much opportunity. He's gonna be on the field the entire time. I'm not really worried about the injuries. I think injuries played a small part of last year. I think he just didn't fit that system, and I think this year he's gonna get his. Okay, the targets are there, 167 vacated targets. Thanks, DeAndre Hopkins, for leaving that behind. It's really, we've talked about Brandon Cooks. He's going to absorb some of those, but David Johnson, he's a great receiving back. I think Duke Johnson's going to take a back seat, and right now he's going as running back 20. I have him around 16. I think he could be higher than that if he gets off to the hot start like he did last year. He's just got to stay healthy. I was looking at his stats just like for his entire career, and he's on the field. He averages 10 yards per reception, which that's a whole point, okay? And just standard. So think about that half PPR, you're getting even 1.5. Look at that. So I think if he's fully healthy, he's going to be a top 15 running back, and that's why he's a stud.
Yeah, I mean, I like David Johnson as well. I really like David Johnson. I think we talked about it a little bit last show in more depth, but I think, this system, if they could support Carlos Hyde as 1,000-yard rusher,
right?
David Johnson is better than Carlos Hyde. So if he's going as running back 20, you said, I think that's great value. His upside is top 5 running back. So David Johnson, I'm excited about too. I definitely stand behind your stud here with David Johnson.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, I'm a fan. I just want him to stay on the field, stay healthy. I think if he can do that, yeah. I want to see the David Johnson of old. I want to see him go out there and just, wreak havoc. But I haven't seen that in a while, so it makes me nervous.
That's true.
That's fair. I'll accept it.
Yeah, you don't have a choice, bud.
Give me your stud. I want to see your stud.
Me? You want me?
Yeah.
I got Calvin Ridley as my stud, number 1. Currently going wide receiver 17 and overall 43. He finished last year as wide receiver 25. That was just with 13 games. I think he'll easily get 110, 120 targets this year if he plays the full season. Especially even, as wide receiver 2 behind Julio Jones with that volume. I think that speaks alone as a solid choice for wide receiver, borderline wide receiver 1, wide receiver 2. I have him. Where do I have him? I have him wide receiver 13, overall 32. I just think he's a tremendous talent that is not going to be overlooked this year, and people are going to go stir crazy for Calvin Ridley. Just give him a few games, especially if Julio Jones misses time. He's going to be an absolute stud as wide receiver 1.
Yeah, I like the situation in Atlanta for Calvin Ridley. I think that post that we put up earlier a couple weeks ago about most vacated targets for a team. Atlanta leads NFL in vacated targets. I think it's something like 253 targets are available with the departure of Mohamed Sanu, Devonta Freeman. So, I mean, those are up for the taking, and Calvin Ridley is going to step right in, I think, get a huge target bump. So, yeah, I mean, I 100% understand where you're coming from. I agree that I see a big uptick for Calvin Ridley. And, I mean, he could get into that borderline wide receiver 1 territory easily with no surprise. So, yeah, I mean, I agree 100%. Calvin Ridley, stud.
Where do you have him, Stefen, in your rankings?
I currently have him as wide receiver 18.
That's where I have him. Yeah, I totally agree here. He's one of those one of Ashton's favorite words I've been throwing around as a trendy sleeper for this year. I don't think it's very sleepy to know that he's a superstar, and I think as long as that offensive line can hold up, Matt Ryan's gonna be throwing around that old pigskin like crazy, and Calvin Ridley's definitely going to soak it up, those vacated targets. So I like your stud.
Thanks, man.
It's good stuff.
I have another one too if you guys want to hear it.
Go ahead.
I know I don't want to hear this one.
Do you know that though?
No, I don't.
My main man, Rob Gronkowski. Did y'all know I was a fan of Gronk?
We can make a whole show about Gronk and Tom
I'm actually
Brady.
starting another podcast where I just talk about Gronk all day, every day. Listen, with all the Brady weapons this year, Tom Brady's going to have an arsenal, right? But there's only one man that he has true chemistry with, true romance, a bromance.
Feelings. There it is. Romance. That was the word.
And that's Gronk, Rob Gronkowski. Yeah, he's coming back out of retirement. I don't care. He's gonna be phenomenal. You guys say you don't believe it, but I see it in your eyes when I'm talking to you right now. And I hear it in the little tweak of your voice that you're kind of nervous.
That's fair.
About the massive amount of ability that he's going to bring to the table here. I'm just looking for that deep ball on the left side of the field with the unexpected deep pass from Tom Brady that people aren't expecting with his quote-unquote weak arm strength or diminishing arm strength. And Gronk's just going to ride it in for another touchdown, man. It's going to happen. You wait and see. I got Gronk. He's currently going as tight end 11. Overall 89. I have him as tight end 6.
On the fence though for 5.
On the fence for 5.
That earlier.
On the fence for 5. And then overall 70. And I'm excited.
It is exciting, just because he came out of retirement, but also that means basically he was in a retirement home because he came out of retirement.
You make it sound like he's in a wheelchair. He's not sitting around.
No, look, I saw. Okay, he's put the weight, some weight back on, not all of it. I just hope his body is ready for it. That's all I want to see. That was another thing we were talking about the other night. We were looking at some of his stats, and it was outrageous when he first came in the league. He was domination station. So he stays healthy. And Bruce Arians, something's got to happen down there. Something's got to happen. We've seen O.J. Howard split it up with Cameron Brate. They've never really kind of put it all together where you've got a super fantasy relevant tight end down there. I would like to see a little bit of change. I know they talked about 2 tight end sets. So hopefully we can see that, and he stays healthy out there. Tom Brady's going to go to him all the time for sure if that happens. If he's out there on the field and he's healthy, I like that. I like it. I like it a lot.
I like Gronk as much as the next guy, but no, I don't. I'm not as high up on Gronk as you are. I don't think he's a stud anymore. I think he's, kind of just an average fantasy tight end now. I think he's a guy that you can plug into your team, but he's not anything special. He's not one of the elite tight ends anymore in fantasy.
Yeah, for sure.
In my opinion. But hey, if he's your stud, more power to you. We'll see how it ends up at the end of the year.
Oh,
Him and Tom Brady have something in common. Gronk's their stud. All right, so I'm going to bounce back here with another stud. Wide receiver this time. I got A.J. Brown. Last year, he came on real strong with Ryan Tannehill once Marcus Mariota was on the bench. And obviously, he's gone now. They signed Ryan Tannehill to that long contract. He's a big guy. He's aggressive out there. He demands targets and the ball. He needs it. There's no one else really on that offense. I think maybe Jonnu Smith might come out a little bit, but I think A.J. Brown, as long as they're passing the ball, game script kind of determines this. That was the only issue that we saw last year, with Derrick Henry as well. But as long as the passes are being thrown, A.J. Brown is going to be catching them. Last year, he was wide receiver 15 and half-point PPR, had over 1,000 yards, and he was 11.9 points per game. And here's a ridiculous statistic. He was 20 yards per reception, and he had eight touchdowns. He was super efficient last year with only 52 receptions on 84 targets. I expect the targets to go up. I mean, just because they've got that connection, that is completely obvious that they're feeling it together, and so I don't think he's going to stay that efficient. But the targets are going to go up, and it's going to equal out to where he's going to be. I think he could be. I think I have him at top. I have him at 13 right now. He's going at wide receiver 15. I could totally see him being. I mean, he's a wide receiver 1. If you see him out there, but the game script in Tennessee, obviously Derrick Henry, a lot of touches for him. But if we can see his targets up closer to 100 and around 75 receptions, I think there's no question if he can stay efficient.
So you're telling me this isn't Corey Davis's year? Like, this isn't the year that Corey Davis finally emerges?
Oh man, that guy!
I think he's the only thing standing in front of A.J. Brown.
That's it. He's the only one.
No, I do like A.J. Brown. I'm high up on A.J. Brown. I think obviously the question is, can we get him more targets? Can we get him more receptions?
100%.
Yeah, I mean, what he did last year is just not sustainable. You can't average 20 yards a reception. Like, that's just – and I think a lot of those yards are after the catch. I mean, he breaks tackles. He's a freaking beast. Like, the fact that Derrick Henry and A.J. Brown are on the same team, like, that's just it's scary. But, yeah, I mean, I think if we can get A.J. Brown the ball, yeah, I mean, obviously the sky's the limit. He can be a wide receiver 1 easy. I don't love Ryan Tannehill as much as a lot of people do. I think he had a good year last year, but we've seen Ryan Tannehill in the league for a few years now, and that's just not what Ryan Tannehill has been his whole career. So I am a little worried about Ryan Tannehill taking a step back, not being able to get A.J. Brown the ball. But if they can get him involved, yeah, I mean, obviously he has a lot of talent. So I'm kind of on the fence between he's either going to be really good or take a step back.
Yeah, I agree. Tannehill is a concern of mine, which is obviously going to affect A.J. Brown. I agree with you, Jacob, that his numbers can go up as far as targets, but his efficiency is probably going to take a hit.
Going to equal out, baby.
We'll see.
Look, we'll see. Ryan Tannehill, I know you guys are hating on him, but that's called the Miami effect, all right? That was what Adam Gase did to people. So things are changing.
That's fair. Well, last but not least, I'll do my last stud. Devontae Parker. A lot of people, including myself, hate drafting players on really bad offenses. And I think we all agree that Miami is not good. So the fact is Parker is being drafted as wide receiver 26, and that's absurd.
Is
Absolutely.
It that bad? No way. Wide receiver 26.
Yeah. Finishing last season as wide receiver 7. Like, now he's getting drafted as wide receiver 26. Like, that's crazy. I mean, the fact that he's fallen that late is a super, super value. If he's still at wide receiver 26 when you're drafting, definitely pick him up. He finished last year with 1,202 yards and 9 touchdowns.
Wow.
With Ryan Fitzpatrick and Josh Rosen as his quarterback. So if he can get Tua to maybe play a couple games, I think his value goes up even higher. As long as we don't get Josh Rosen on the field again.
What's
Devontae
Tua's
Parker.
last name?
Tagovailoa.
There it is. I like that. That's nice.
Yeah, but I think at his ADP right now, you gotta look at him. I have him as my wide receiver 17 right now. But I mean, if he finished last year as 7, I wouldn't be surprised to see him more in that 10 to 12 range. But as wide receiver 26 in ADP, he's definitely a stud for me.
I think that I think I'm gonna have to move him up. I'm seriously. I got him at 19 right now. I knew he was really good last year. I think I know what the concern is, and it's when is Tua going to come in? You know, he had a great connection with Fitzpatrick, obviously, but what's going to happen when Tua comes in? Tua's going to be running more. Maybe he doesn't have that great connection. Maybe there's running the ball more in general, and I think that might be why he's going a little bit later. But wide receiver 26? I mean, come on, somebody. That's not cool. That's not fair. I don't think he deserves that, and I think he's definitely a stud.
Do you think Tua comes in early enough in the season to drastically change Devontae's position?
I think if he came in halfway of the season, it would still affect it.
Yeah, I'll take Fitzpatrick or Tua. You know, as long as it's not Rosen.
Yeah, I'm not ashamed to say I love it when Fitzy's slinging the ball out there.
Oh yeah,
exactly. That's what I'm saying.
He's got a can.
Air it out.
Yeah.
Who cares if he's throwing picks? We saw Jameis Winston last
saw
year.
it.
It was QB3.
The new version of 30 for 30.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So did I make a second believer in you, Ashton? Do you see him as a stud?
Yeah, I definitely think Devontae Parker could be a stud. You know, it's just.
I mean, you know they're going to be throwing the ball because they're going to be losing. They're rebuilding. I mean,
yeah,
that's the thing about it's kind of a bad offense, but it's just a bad team in general. So they got to throw the ball if they want to score some points. So yeah,
I unfortunately have always been a Devontae Parker fan. I've had him on multiple teams of mine throughout the years.
Sorry to hear that.
And that never worked.
Yeah, and
then you didn't have him last year though, did you?
And the 1 year I don't have him, he freaking balls out. So yeah, I would love to get on the Devontae Parker train and have him rock out this year, but. Yeah, my concern is when they're going to bring in Tua, because I'm not necessarily sure that Tua is going to be the better option for Devontae Parker. And Devontae Parker, I don't know, is he one of those guys that can succeed under any quarterback? No, I don't think so. So yeah. I don't know. I kind of have to wait and see how that unfolds. But yeah, I am a fan of Devontae Parker, so I hope he does.
Yeah. Cool. Let's go ahead and let's jump over to the duds. Jacob, you want to lead us off?
Oh, Daddy, I know what's coming to me.
Things are about to get
I'm going to give you a dud here, and it's really not a high class dud, or like not. All right, let me just go ahead and give it. Okay, it's Aaron Rodgers. Everybody,
it's despicable.
Say that again.
Ron Rodgers.
I mean, all-time great quarterback's going to be a dud.
Listen, hear me out, okay? He's got Devontae Adams and Aaron Jones to throw to. Okay, so they drafted a quarterback in the first round, second round?
Or in the first round.
I think Aaron Rodgers is a fantastic quarterback, okay? So don't hear what I'm not saying here, okay, boys? They won 13 games utilizing Aaron Rodgers in a way that he's never been used. The offense is always run through him, and last year it did not. They got Aaron Jones involved. They finally freed Aaron Jones. I think he led the league in touchdowns for running backs, and I just think it's really the new coach Matt LaFleur, and just kind of what they're doing with the team. And I mean, 13 games. I mean, do you want to change what happened last year? Okay. He finished QB 10. All right. But he didn't win anybody any leagues last year. It was, I had him. I traded him. I got him from you, Stefen. And that was the issue. I gave you Austin Eckler in like week 7 or something for him. And you really soured him for me. Okay. That was my recency bias, I guess. I got him for his one big blow up game. But I think that even skewed where his finish was at QB 10. So he's very efficient with the ball, obviously. I think he had 26 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. He's not that mobile. He is somewhat injury prone. He's getting there, but he is obviously a superstar. He's going right now as the 10th QB off the board. I think he'll be a QB2, and that's why he is a dud for me.
QB2.
Which could be QB. I mean, that could be 13. All right. I mean, we're not too far off here. It's not against him. Go ahead. Come on.
No, I mean that's appalling to me. I mean, I can't believe you'd ever put that kind of disrespect on Aaron Rodgers' name. Let me ask you a little question here.
I like questions.
In the 5 seasons that Aaron Rodgers has played, the entirety of the season, how many times does he finish outside the top 10? Where he's
Let me answer that question with another question. He's only played 5 complete seasons.
Right, 5
How
seasons.
long has he been in the league though? As a starter.
He started for 7 seasons. He played 9 one season. I think 3 or 4 the other season. So I don't really count those.
You don't count those, okay?
Even if you put the pace on,
where was he?
How many times in those 5 seasons has he finished outside the top 10?
Maybe
answer 0. Okay?
That's what I was going to say, actually. So yeah, that works.
0 times. We've never been able to get Aaron Rodgers this cheap ever in fantasy drafts. He's the 10th quarterback off the board. Like, how can you be a bust at quarterback 10? There's no way that Aaron Rodgers finishes.
He's not a bust. He is a dud. He's like a milk dud. That candy.
There's no way.
It's candy, but it sucks.
He has a great offensive line. He's got a great receiver in Devontae Adams. Like, he's guaranteed not to be a dud, in my opinion.
I think he's going so low this year is because people are just, apprehensive and anticipating a potential switch, right? I mean, they kind of see the
writing on the wall, dude.
Path leading that way, right? But when does any defense underestimate or count Aaron Rodgers out? And if they do, don't they pay for it? So I suggest all fantasy players do the same. Don't count Aaron Rodgers out this year. Expect him to come out there to make a point and prove to everyone that he's not anyone that needs to be switched out with a rookie quarterback coming into the picture. So I think he's got a chip on his shoulder this year, and he's gonna make his point made.
I bet. Big bet. Whatever this bet's going to be, Aaron Rodgers is out of QB. He'll be beyond QB 10 this year.
That's absurd.
Ooh.
I definitely
want some of that action.
I take you on that bet 10 times out of 10.
Yeah, I'm in on that too.
Good. Get ready for it. Ashton, let me see your dud.
You ready for this? I got Keenan Allen. He finished last year. I mean, yeah, come on. He finished last year at wide receiver 8. And yes, wide receiver 8 is a good position to finish, right?
I didn't even know he's that high.
209.5 fantasy points. But a lot of changes have been made. They lose Phillip Rivers. They rolling out with Tyrod Taylor. I don't think they're going to be a pass-heavy offense this year. I think they're going to rely on a lot of the run game with Austin Eckler, especially after signing him to a 4-year contract. I think they got him at $24.5 million with $15 guaranteed. They're going to use Austin Eckler. They're going to use the run game. And I like Tyrod Taylor, but he's not going to be slinging the ball like Phillip Rivers used to. So I think Keenan Allen's going to take a pretty big hit. He's currently going as wide receiver 19, 46th overall. I have him as wide receiver 33, an 80th overall pick.
I literally have nothing to add to that because I agree with everything you just said. Except for Tyrod Taylor isn't that good. Thank you.
I like Tyrod. Come on.
Yeah, I think
he didn't play at all last year, I don't think. But go ahead, Stefen. Sorry.
I think whether we get Tyrod or Justin Herbert, I'm not excited for Keenan Allen. It is unfortunate because Keenan Allen's super talented, but yeah, I don't think this is his year. Definite dud for me as well. But I'm going to give you my dud. I think my dud's a little bit more controversial.
Agreed.
It might not be any more controversial than Aaron Rodgers because that's just I don't even know why you're including this podcast at this point. But my first dud is Mike Evans. I'm the first one to tell you that Mike Evans is super, super talented, and he could easily prove me wrong for this one. But excluding last year, Mike Evans has always been the most talented guy on the Bucs team. Few and far between. But you bring in Tom Brady, you bring in Gronk. The offense is definitely going to be different this year. It's not going to be Jameis Winston just chucking it deep and letting Mike Evans go and get it. But throughout his career, we've seen Brady rely on his slot receivers, his tight ends, his running backs out of the backfield. So I don't expect Mike Evans to be his guy. I expect you to see Chris Godwin and Gronk.
Who?
I mean, Gronk, but to a degree where he finishes outside the top 5. But yeah, so for me, the odd man out in this offense is Mike Evans. I mean, he's getting drafted way too high, in my opinion. Wide receiver 8 is just – it doesn't make any sense to me. I have him at 15, but I wouldn't be surprised to see him fall outside of the wide receiver 2 range and fall into those 20s to 30 range.
Ashton, you go ahead because I'm gonna get this ready. I'll fire this up.
I don't know. I kind of feel like Mike Evans could have a better year this year for sure. I think he's one of those guys that has had the phenomenal talent, but he's gotten frustrated in years past with an offense that just can't pull the trigger. And now you bring in Tom Brady and Gronk, and you have a new offensive play design here. I think he's going to go in there with his head held high and be really eager and excited to show the world what he's capable of doing, especially under a proven quarterback like Tom Brady. So I don't know. I'm a little bit higher on Mike Evans than you are there, Stefen.
Where do you guys have him right now? Just curious from your rankings.
15.
I think I have Mike Evans at 11.
So you're saying he's a fringe wide receiver 1, basically?
But you're saying he's a bad value.
No.
Wide receiver 8.
Look, so okay, that's fair. Here's my question for you. You had a good question for me earlier. Here's my question for you.
Mm-hmm.
Mike Evans has been in the league for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I can count 6 seasons. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
How many times do you think he's finished under 1,000 yards?
0. But that doesn't make him a top. How many times has he finished outside of the top 8?
Probably like never.
3.
What top 8? What does that mean? 9? Come on, man. We said 10.
12,
10 is the threshold.
17, 24.
Things have been a little rocky down there, but no. Honestly, I think Mike Evans is great, and I totally understand what you're saying. TB's gotta air it out, and he doesn't typically do that. We've seen him do that a little bit in his career, but he likes the slot. He likes dumping it off. He's smart with the ball. He gets rid of it fast because he is not fast. So yeah, I understand. I hate it, but I understand.
Where did you say you have him going, Stefen?
I have him as my 15th wide receiver, but he's currently going in ADP as wide receiver 8.
Yep. Yeah, I agree with you. I mean, I put him at 11. I mean, I just don't think he's going to take big of a hit as your.
I mean, someone's going to not be relevant here. Someone's got to.
OJ Howard.
OJ Howard was already taken out.
I just like how you're saying that Gronk's going to be more relevant than Mike Evans in Tampa Bay this year.
I think he's a take away from Mike Evans.
Yeah,
okay?
Yeah, I think he takes away from Mike Evans' production. Second, though, and I know we're gonna have some arguments here with this one, but Derrick Henry is my second dud. Again, I mean, the dude's a freak. I've already told you that with the AJ Brown argument, but
just a couple of freaks doing their thing.
I mean, he looks like a defensive end. But what he did last year is in no way sustainable. He had 303 carries. 303 for 1,540 yards and 16 touchdowns. Like, okay, first off, he's not getting 303 carries again. His body is just too big to sustain that for 2 years in a row.
He's so strong.
Don't you dare say that.
16 touchdowns. Like, okay, there's no. I can see double digits. I can see 10, but 16 touchdowns is a ton of touchdowns for any running back. I think this whole Tennessee offense takes a step back. I think everybody's going to, like, obviously game plan for Derrick Henry because that was –
load the box for sure.
That was the biggest weapon there. So I think he's going to be the one that takes a step back. I think the whole offense takes a step back. This isn't as good of a Tennessee team this year for me. He's definitely going to be a valuable asset, but I don't see him as – I mean, he's going as running back 6, number 7 overall off the board. So you got to spend a first-round pick on him. That's too rich for my blood. He's a dud for me.
I have him at running back 5, so kind of going the other way here. I'll just leave it at that.
I don't think I'm too far off from that. I've got him down at 6. But I totally agree. I don't think 300 touches is going to happen again, and they're going to load the box, and that's just going to make more room for my stud, A.J. Brown. You know, they're going to be loading the box, and he's just going to be out there running wild. So I'm excited. But I think Derrick Henry's still going to be running back 1 just because he is going to get his volume. He's going to get his. But I think, where he's going, it's tough.
He's going to get 325 touches this year.
Damn.
All right, Ashton, let's hear your second dud.
Unfortunately, I had to go with Austin Hooper. Moving from Atlanta to Cleveland, Vegas here. I don't know. I think it's going to hurt his stride, if you know what I mean. Finished 6th overall tight end last year, 75 receptions for 97 targets. I mean, he had a great year last year. Had a little bump with injury, but I mean, finishing 6th.
Little bump.
You know, yeah.
Yeah.
Little boo-boo.
Little boo-boo out for the season.
Yeah. He had 154.2 fantasy points. But just based off this trade, moving from Matt Ryan to Baker Mayfield with a shaky offense, and they shouldn't be a shaky offense. They have plenty of weapons that are, it's just I have a problem with their team chemistry, and until I see that come together, I just get nervous about anything Cleveland right now as far as passing goes. I think Hooper's numbers are definitely going to take a hit. Is he still going to be relevant and be successful? Yeah, I'm sure he has that ability. I think they've improved their offensive line this year too. What was their offensive line ranked? 23rd at the end of last year, and this year they're predicted to be ranked 6th. So I see their run game stepping up here, which is also going to take away from their passing options. So he's currently going ADP tight end number 10 overall 90 or 87. I have him as tight end 16 and overall 125.
Wow. So, they did make some improvements on the offensive line there. I think it's going to benefit Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt a little bit more. But I know they did it for Baker. You know, they want him to be successful. They don't want him to be just another QB they missed on, because that's been like the story of their past few years. But Austin Hooper, I've got him at 10 right now. I think there's too many mouths to feed there. Like I just said, Nick Chubb, Kareem Hunt. You got OBJ and Jarvis Landry. I mean, what are you gonna do? That's a lot. That's a lot of mouths to feed.
Yeah, are they talking about trading Njoku? Did I hear that rumor coming through?
He said he wants to be traded, but I don't think there's any movement yet.
There was some fake news saying the Cowboys wanted him, but
there's some whispers about Redskins being interested too. But
yeah, I agree. I think Austin Hooper's a dud for me as well.
Yeah.
There's so many weapons, like you guys said, and I think it is a downgrade, obviously, from Matt Ryan to Baker Mayfield. Hopefully the line improves. Baker's a little bit better this year, but I don't see Austin Hooper as being living up to the hype from Atlanta. So dud for me as well.
Well, I'm glad you all agree.
I've got the last dud here, guys, and it's more of me predicting the future. That's basically how this is going to shake out. So just get ready.
Okay.
Strap in.
Got it.
James Conner, the glass man himself. Injury. That's the only thing I'm worried about. Actually, like I said, I'm predicting it. I don't think he's going to play more than 12 games this year. He is the best option there. And even the coach said, Mike Tomlin's come out and said that. Right now, I mean, I know people are thinking he's a sleeper as well. I'm just avoiding him in its entirety. Last year he played 10 games. So, and he was the running back 33, I think. Right now he's going in the 20s.
21.
And where is he at? 28?
Running back 21.
Oh, 21. Okay. Yeah, that's way too much for me. Even though I only have him at like 20. I think I have him at like 25 or 26.
What?
But literally that's based on a 16 game. That's 16 game projections. Okay, I don't think he's going to get there. So maybe I should just go ahead and change it and say that he's going to be like running back 37.
So you, in your opinion, if he played 16 games, you see him finishing at 25.
23. Sorry. Yes.
If
If he plays the full 16.
Wow.
I know he's had his moments in the sun, but his body it's obviously cannot hold up. But he's good. I mean, he's talented, but he's just made of glass. So the consistency risk is there because maybe he does play 12 games, but he's gonna be in and out. And I think that's because he's what's the word? Soft.
Wow. Where do you didn't he survive cancer?
Yeah, man, you was really bagging on the guy.
Come on, guys. I
Come on,
thought
man.
that wasn't going to come up. I didn't want to say it, and I didn't want to.
Well, you called the man soft. What do you expect?
Okay, he's a dud. That's it.
Where do you have him again?
23.
23 for 16 games, but I don't think he'll make
That's absurd.
I have him at 21. I mean, we're not too far off, but I'm
All right,
nicer.
Stefen,
I'm nicer
let's
to
hear
him.
your ridiculous ranking, please.
Okay, guys, listen here. The guy started for the Steelers 2 seasons, last season included, which we can kind of write off with the whole argument we made with Juju earlier. Big Ben wasn't there. The whole offense was in shambles. But the year he did start before, with the whole offense buzzing, he was running back 6. Like, James Conner was almost one of my studs. So the fact that you have him as a dud is crazy to me. I have him
Before his body fell apart, dude.
I think obviously that the question is the injury thing, right? I have him
100%.
as running back 19 without playing 16 games. I think if he plays 12, he ends up as running back 19. I think if he gets all 16, he's a top 8 running back to me. Like, I think this is a guy who has extreme value. If you can get him at running back 21 and he has the possibility to finish as a top 8 running back, I mean, I'm all over that. So definitely don't think James Conner is a dud for me.
Fair.
Well,
I guess
that ends the duds conversation.
Yeah, let's get sleepy.
Can I go? I'm gonna go.
Go ahead. You go ahead.
I'm gonna lead the way.
Okay,
here.
yeah, you can go, buddy.
My first sleeper is Hayden Hurst. If you're looking for value and upside in an ADP, a tight end, especially a tight end, you got to look at Hayden Hurst. He's currently going at tight end 13, overall 118. He has terrific upside with a lot of potential this year in Atlanta, taking over Austin Hooper's position and his role there, which we all know was phenomenal last year. And I don't see Hayden slowing that down. He finished last year at tight end 34. I have him at tight end 11 and 104 overall. I just think he's a phenomenal talent, speed, good hands, good route runner. Also good at, good at blocking. So, I mean, they're going to use him.
Being a tight end.
Yeah. He's a good tight end. He's good at his job. He knows the role he's supposed to play and he does it.
Well, I think
now he's got a good opportunity in Atlanta. So
yeah. Well, I think we all hate Austin Hooper. I think we all love Hayden Hurst. I think we talked about it a little bit last episode as well.
Yep.
He was never able to shine in Baltimore with Mark Andrews there, but Hayden Hurst was a first-round pick. He was drafted to be a great tight end. So I am excited to see him get that chance in Atlanta. Has a great quarterback, Matt Ryan. Definitely expecting Hayden Hurst to jump onto the scene and make a splash. So as tight end 13 in ADP, I definitely expect him to surpass that. Good sleeper.
Yep, I completely agree. And I would say he is a trendy sleeper. Your favorite, Ashton, a trendy.
I'm starting to sense a theme here from you.
He's
with that.
setting the trend. That's what it is.
I'm just saying we're so smart. We set the trend. Yeah, exactly. Stefen gets it.
You're getting trendy saying trendy so much.
I'm making a trend.
I'm going to go ahead and jump in with my first sleeper then. I got the old man AJ Green. I mean, he's getting old. He is getting old. I think he's 32 now, which is old for a wide receiver, and old for Ashton as well.
Whoa.
You surpassed that by
I didn't see
I
that.
was gonna say, I'd love to be right now.
But yeah, I think there's risk with AJ Green for sure. Nobody's questioning that.
For sure.
Yeah, he hasn't played a full season since 2017. I'm going to get that out of the way because I know someone's going to argue that the guy just can't stay on the field. But
Thank you.
when he is on the field, I don't think any of us can argue that he's not one of the top wide receivers in the game. Even at 32, the guy is crazy good. And he was crazy good with Andy Dalton. So, I mean, what's to be said with Joe Burrow? I mean, Joe Burrow had the greatest college season we've ever seen from a quarterback. Now he comes in and takes the starting position for Cincinnati. I think AJ Green is going to just eat it up, just eat it all up. So I'm expecting a great bounce back season from AJ Green. He's wide receiver 28 on an ADP, which is, again, wild to me. Easily can finish inside a wide receiver 1 range if he stays on the field. So AJ Green is my sleeper. Hopefully he can stay on the field because I want him on my team.
Right. I'll hop in here. I don't think it's super wild that he's going that late. I think people understand the concern, which I think you do too, which is what you just said. And if he's on the field, I mean, he has been a superstar. And he's actually 31 for 21 more days. And then he'll be 32. But no, I totally agree. He's got the upside. He's got Joe Burrow. As long as Zach Taylor, the head coach of the Bengals, lets Joe Burrow go and just air it out, I think AJ Green, he's healthy. He's on the field. We've always seen him good. I think he could definitely he could be a great sleeper.
I just feel like I haven't seen him play in so long. I just want to see him back in action.
Exactly.
Well, hopefully.
So, with your first sleepers out of the way, I'm going to bring in a QB for my sleeper, Gardner Minshew. Honestly, I think he's kind of trendy this year too. I'll go ahead and say it. But it's pretty simple why he is where people are thinking he's a sleeper, because where he's getting drafted, his currently ADP is QB 29. That is outrageous. He can pass and he can run. He has the rushing floor, and he's able to protect the football as well. Last year, he played 14 games as a rookie, and he was the QB 20. But that was also with Nick Foles kind of in and out. He was, and once he came back after Nick Foles kind of came back after his injury, there was a lot of going back and forth, but I think it was pretty obvious that he had great rapport with DJ Shark out there. They drafted Chenault as well this year. I think he was a 2nd or 3rd round pick. Mm-hmm. They signed Ashton's boy, Chris Thompson, ex-Redskin, Red Tail, whatever they're going to be.
Red Wolves
I think
now.
he's very good. So I think he's going to have dump off options with Chris Thompson. I mean, if the offensive line can't stand up to it, he's going to run all over the place. He's got places to dump it off. I think where he's going as QB 29 is outrageous, and I think between his mustache and his jorts, the sky is the limit.
And his camper.
Rico, right?
Learning from old Rico. I could throw a pigskin clear over those mountains. What do you guys think?
I like Gardner Minshew.
Yeah, so do I.
I mean, he's obviously last year he had some games where he was a QB1 and he had some great games, but then he kind of fell off a few games as well. So, I mean, it's where he's going at quarterback 29. I mean, you'll see some value there, but to me, he's still a bench quarterback or only a 2-quarterback league guy.
Streamer, maybe.
Yeah, I mean, I'll put him on my bench if I have, one of the lower end quarterback ones. But to me, I think you get some value at quarterback 29 for him.
I think it's just going to depend. I could see him being a QB1 depending on, streaming option. I mean, I think it's just going to depend on who they're playing each week. But as late as he's going, that's a disvalue to him. Who you got next?
So I did want to and kind of just explain. I just realized we didn't really explain each one of these categories. Kind of what a stud would be is someone that's going to outperform where they're going as their ADP, which is their average draft position right now. And the duds is we're thinking they're not going to provide you any value. They're going to be worse than where they're being drafted. And we are in the sleepers now. And Stefen said, okay, maybe he finishes 6 picks better. That's value. Leaving them on the waiver wire, picking them up, streaming them, whatever. That's what this sleepers is all about here. Yeah. And I think people are sleeping on Michael Gallup, a cowboy. He's so good. You know, the problem is one of the best wide receivers slipped to us in the draft. I said us. I'm a Cowboys fan, baby. CeeDee Lamb, I think a lot of people got him down on Gallup, but there's so many targets to go around. Jason Witten, we already said our goodbye last episode. Very sad, very emotional. Randall Cobb's gone. You know, there's a lot of targets there as well. I think it was like 160, 170, something like that. So I believe in him. Last year, his numbers actually weren't that different from Amari Cooper. We know Amari Cooper had some issues with injury, staying on the field, and so they said, "Oh, well, he was on the field to be a diversion, just kind of get the defense drawn to him." But last year, he was wide receiver 22, Michael Gallup, in 14 games. He had 1,107 yards and 6 touchdowns. Amari Cooper, 16 games, 8 touchdowns, and 1,189 yards. So there wasn't that much. I mean, his 16 game pace was just as good or better than Amari Cooper's. And I know CeeDee Lamb's going to suck up some of those targets, but I think where he's going right now, which actually I don't remember where he's going. Where's Gallup going right now?
Wide receiver 31.
31. He finished as wide receiver 22 in 14 games last year. I think he's going to have he's going to definitely provide some value as a sleeper this year.
Yeah, I love Michael Gallup. I mean, obviously I'm a Cowboys fan as well, so I want all the Cowboys receivers to do great. But I mean, the reality is someone's not going to do as well as we're predicting them to do. But I do think we've seen before that, you know, teams can support 2 wide receiver ones, and the Cowboys have a great offense. So I definitely think it's a great possibility that Michael Gallup is more in that wide receiver 2 category or back end wide receiver 1, best case scenario. So I do see him as a great sleeper. Whether it be him or CeeDee Lamb, one of them is gonna perform.
He's a Cowboy.
That's all you have to say?
That's all I have to say. No, I'm just kidding. No, I think he's very talented. I think he could – I actually have him as wide receiver 30 right now. I do have to make some adjustments on my ADP here, but I'm not sure where I'm going to land him. Probably –
better than 30.
I don't know. We'll see. But
Fair.
As of today, as of this recording, we're going to keep him at 30. And yeah, cool. I think he has the potential to be a sneaky pick here.
Yep. My last sleeper is Ronald Jones. While I'm not excited about Mike Evans, I am excited about Ronald Jones. I think the Tom Brady move is perfect for Ronald Jones. The backfield in Tampa Bay was definitely, you know, wishy-washy last year. We didn't know if we were going to get Ronald Jones or Peyton Barber, what Bruce Arians was going to do. But hopefully with the move to Tom Brady, I think this is perfect for Ronald Jones. They're going to run the ball more. They're going to be in scoring position right around the goal line more. Ronald Jones could get more touchdowns. They went ahead and signed Tristan Wirfs in the first round to kind of bolster that offensive line. So I think this is a great fit for Ronald Jones. Ronald Jones also has the easiest strength of schedule for a running back this year. So I think kind of everything is playing in his favor. He's getting drafted as running back 35, which for a starting running back just seems crazy on a Tom Brady-led team. So yeah, he's my sleeper. I think he's going to be a back-end running back too. He's going to be a guy you can rely on, and you can pick him up. He's getting drafted 95th overall. So, I mean, you're already going to have 2 or 3 running backs at this point anyway. Might as well stick Ronald Jones on your bench, watch him perform for the first 6 weeks, stick him right in for whoever you missed on in the early rounds. Probably you drafted Derrick Henry or something. Just put him on.
Oh, easy. Ashton, what are your thoughts on Ronald Jones? I don't have much to add to that.
I love him. I think he's great. I'm trying to see where I put him on. I
think you're going to be I think Tampa Bay is going to be your new team, bud.
You're going to have all the Tampa Bay players.
Yeah. I'm a big fan. I think he has a lot of talent that they're going to expose a lot more this year. And I think the world's going to change once he's playing with Tom Brady. So I expect all his numbers to go and take a big hit here.
Only thing I want to add, because I pretty much agree with everything you guys said, but I think everyone is expecting Tom Brady to make everyone in Tampa better. I think someone's going to lose it somewhere. But it really depends on what the Arians game script changes to. But yeah, I do agree that Tom Brady will. I think
you cut out there a little bit.
Value.
We got you now.
Down on our last sleeper here. What we got, Ashton?
Break it down for us.
All right, I got Antonio Gibson. Now,
who's that?
No, exactly. Who? You know what you guys said last time? Last time I drafted my sleeper, you know what happened?
No.
I picked up Terry McLaurin, and y'all said the same thing.
I don't remember that. I don't recall that.
Well, I remember.
I wasn't at that draft.
Yes, you were.
I was at my house, but I wasn't there.
Listen, I mean, he got 66th overall pick this year's draft. Lands in Washington from Memphis. He's a sneaky offensive playmaker. Whether it's pass catching or at running back with his legs, he's proven his talent and ability. He's already getting comparisons to Christian McCaffrey from Ron Rivera.
Easy Ron.
He had 33 carries in college. How do you compare him to Christian McCaffrey?
And you know what he did with those 33 carries? He crushed
33 touchdowns.
He had 33 carries from Memphis. He's never played against
Memphis
NFL
is an outstanding football program,
NFL
my friend.
Talent.
Okay, listen. Ron Rivera, who coached Christian McCaffrey, is comparing him to Christian McCaffrey. Don't bust my bubble here, man. Let me enjoy it.
This is crazy.
Okay, well, we'll see.
Extremely sleepy
Riverboat Ron doesn't stray from the truth. And look.
There's nothing to say, man. Okay, it's a crowded running back room. Let me go ahead and throw.
Well, I don't think he's going to be used directly as a running back. I think they're going to use him more as a pass catcher. I think he might even line up as a slot receiver sometimes. I don't know. I think Ron's going to get very creative with his use of Gibson, and I definitely see him climbing up.
But so creative when you have Dwayne Haskins as your QB. So let me just leave you with that.
That doesn't mean anything. Dwayne Haskins.
He's lining up in a slot, and he ain't gonna be looking good.
Oh, we'll see. I think people are going to be surprised. Look, I'm not saying we're bowl bound, but I think Antonio Gibson's going to be a very sneaky play that people are going to miss out on in their draft, and they shouldn't. You should pick him up.
I'd like to be wrong on that one. I'm okay with being wrong on that one. Go Cowboys.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, that dude had 33 carries and 44 receptions in 2 years of college football for Memphis.
Yeah, experience is concern, but I'm not worried about when talent trumps experience. You're going to see it. It's going to come through.
He's going to need more touches than what he had in Memphis to be relevant in fantasy.
My words. He'll get it.
Okay. Various guys will have more touches.
Guys, injury prone, AP, who they're trying to stray away from. It sounds like at this point they're going to use him more as like I don't even know what they're going to do with AP. The whole backfield situation is kind of kooky right now, but I don't doubt their use of Antonio Gibson. They're going to use him. He's going to be vital. I guarantee it.
Fair enough. Well, that wraps it up for sleepers. You guys have any closing remarks here?
Oh, not really. Send in some questions if you have any. I know it's a little bit early. Preseason's coming. So, well, maybe half of it at least for now. So, thanks for listening in.
I'll swap those jerseys.
Thanks for tuning in, guys. Make sure to follow us on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. Stay up to date on all things fantasy football. Until next week. Goodbye.
Bye.
I nailed that.